Thank you for tuning in to today's Railroad Safety broadcast live from Tinley Park High School in Tinley Park, Illinois. My name is Hillary Conzel. I'm Metra's Director of Safety. And for the next 55 minutes, we're going to discuss railroad safety and your safety around trains and railroad crossings. Nearly 100 people are killed at railroad crossings in Illinois alone. We want you to be safe, and for that reason, we're going to present our Operation Lifesaver presentation. It is my pleasure to introduce Metra CEO Don Orsino.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here today. First of all, good morning, Titans. How you doing? Wait, am I in the right place? Is this Tinley Park High School with the Titans? You can do better than that. Good morning, Titans. How you doing? All right, that's what we're talking about. First of all, Metra's pleased to be here at Tinley Park High School for the driver's education class. In just a few minutes, we're going to see an Operation Lifesaver class, a presentation about railroad safety. Railroad safety is Metra's #1 priority. We deliver hundreds of Operation Lifesaver events in schools all over the Chicago region every year. Our hope is that your generation will grow up with the tools to stay safe around railroads. Since train safety is important everywhere, not just in Illinois, our hope is that people from across the country and even the globe are able to use this information in the Metra Operation Lifesaver event to prevent injuries and deaths around railroad crossings. Also joining us today is someone who has dedicated their life in helping others. One of his biggest tasks is ensuring that our roadways and the millions of people that use them every single day stay safe, including driving around tracks. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Illinois Secretary of State, Jesse White.
Thank you very much, Mr. Orsino, and thank you very much for allowing me an opportunity to come to this wonderful, wonderful institution of learning, where I know for a fact that teaching is taking place and learning is in the equation, because I know and you know that one day you're going to help run this great country of ours, so it's important for you to put something between your ears every day on the scalp. We're talking about knowledge, and that will carry you far. As your Secretary of State, my mission is to help make the roads of Illinois the safest ever. I run the largest Secretary of State office in the United States. And so we just want to make sure that you understand that if you're going to get behind the wheel of an automobile, you have to have the skills and the knowledge to get from point A to point B. We put in place the graduated driver's license program where we taught you early on how to navigate behind the wheel of an automobile. And as a result of the graduated driver's license program, there has been a 55% reduction in the loss of lives because you obeyed the rules of the road. We also want you to know, too, that when it comes to railroad crossings, you have to make sure that you don't cross when the lights are blinking red, and you don't cross when the arm is down. You could get a ticket, you could lose your license, you could lose your life. Here in Illinois, we rank third highest when it comes to deaths around railroad crossings. We rank #2 when it comes to injuries while crossing the tracks when the train is present. We want you to understand, too, that within the rules of the road, there's a passage, or there's a chapter in there that speaks to how you conduct yourself around a railroad train. The other thing, too, and that is you have to make sure that you pass all of the questions that are asked of you, because this is a serious part of the rules of the road in order to get your license. Please don't ever disregard those signs, because you can lose your life or someone else's life. And then by chance, you're in an automobile, you make sure that everyone who is affixed in the automobile have a seatbelt. That is your first line of defense. Make sure you have one. So we just want you to understand, too, the importance of being safe, because, as I indicated before, you're going to be our doctors, lawyers, teachers, ophthalmologists, coaches, the list goes on and on. We want you to live a long and productive life. And with that, in life, we want you to always, always look up and aim high. The only time I want you to look down is to tie your shoes. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary of State White. Metra operates almost 4,000 trains every week here in Chicago and the suburbs, and safety is our #1 priority. It is my pleasure now to introduce to you Metra's Operation Lifesaver presenters, our Public Safety Manager, Larry Green, and our Metra Police Lieutenant, Tom Donegan. Together, these gentlemen have delivered 10,000 Operation Lifesaver presentations during the last decade. They educate new professional drivers, young children, community groups, and firefighters, as well as police officers. Please join me in welcoming Larry Green and Tom Donegan.
Good morning. Y'all don't have to be scared. Good morning. Good morning. Now, my name is Larry Green. I work for Metra. I am the Public Safety Coordinator. My partner, Tom Donegan. Say hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Now, we're not here to be like your teachers. We're here to give you information. You guys want to drive, right? You ever seen these before? Now, these are called crossbucks. There are 129,581 of these in the United States. There are 7,710 of these in Illinois. Now, all I'm going to do is give you pointers about what to do when you come up to those. Pretty simple. Name of this program is called Operation Lifesaver. Now, Operation Lifesaver is a railroad safety program. It was started in 1972 by 2 Union Pacific employees. Now, what they wanted to do was they wanted to save lives. The way we show this program, pretty simple, is by the 3 E's: education, engineering, and enforcement. Education, that's what we're doing today. Transferring and giving out information. You guys know that education is power. Do you guys know that? I mean, if you put it up here, you can be anything you want to be. You can be like a doctor, a lawyer. Hey, you can be the Secretary of State. Huh? Yeah. Now, you can even be a teacher. You guys want to be teachers? No, you don't want to be teachers. How many of you guys got little sisters and brothers, nieces, nephews, random kids that just walk through your house? I mean, you're already teachers. I mean, you have to teach them so that they don't get hurt and they don't be following you and bothering you, right? Yeah. Now, engineering, ideas. Now, this is an idea. Tells you where the railroad track is. Now, cost of these on the street, $150,000. Know who pays for those? Taxpayers, that's you guys. They started picking on the railroad. Why? 44% of them walk and or drive around these. This is called a gate. What's that called? What's it going to be tomorrow? What's it going to be next week? A gate. Yeah. Now y'all getting it. Now, if those top 2 E's don't work, you know what does work? Enforcement. That's Tom. Yeah, he's the police. Metra has police. They team up with the local police, and they enforce laws, rules, regulations, such as this one. What's this word right here? What is it? You guys know what trespassing is? That means if somebody comes over your house, messes with your stuff, you don't invite them. Are they trespassing? Can you get the police in there to get them out of there? Railroad property is private property. It's only 2 places you can legally cross the railroad tracks: street crossing, similar to that, or pedestrian crossing. Any other place you cross those tracks, what are you doing? The fine is $75 all the way up to $150. But you guys already knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, no.
Now that's the law in Tinley Park. Yeah. Now, we also have, if you're driving, you stop your car on the track, or you decide to go around these what? The fine is $250. Yeah, you know that? Yeah. Now, anytime is train time. Now, you guys know how to cross the street, correct? Yeah. Now, when you cross the street, do you look for cars? Yeah. Both ways. Yeah. Cars run on the streets. Trains run on the what? Track. So whenever you come up to a train track, what do you look for? Is that like rocket science? You have to be super smart to know that? No. Now, you guys can see real good. Can you hear? And y'all smart, so you won't walk out there in front of a train and let it kill you, right? No. Right. Now, trains run on any track at any time in any direction. Got it? Trains can't swerve. Trains do not have steering wheels. They can't swerve to the left, to the right. They have to follow what? Has anybody here ever seen a train chasing somebody down the street to run them over? But you've heard about people getting hit by trains, right? So if you get hit by a train, where were you? Where's that train supposed to be? Where are you not supposed to be? See, now y'all getting it. Yeah, makes sense now, doesn't it? Yeah. Now, we create the perfect optical illusion between planes and trains. Now, you guys have been to the airport, seen those planes coming in to land, like Midway, O'Hare, huh? Yeah, those planes are coming in at 150, 200 miles an hour. If they were going too slow, couldn't they fall out the sky? When you see this train coming, can you tell if that train's doing 10 miles an hour, a slow freight train, or 90 miles an hour, an Amtrak train? By the way, that Amtrak train, it gobbles up 1,000 feet of track in 6 seconds. Any football players in here? What position do you play? Who? Safety. Well, Tom, tell them how many football fields that is.
How far is a playing field on a football field? 100 yards? Okay. Take 18 football fields and lay them end to end and start running. When you get to the end of that, that's how far it takes the train to stop. Okay? It's also 57 basketball courts long, 67 tennis courts long, let's see, 13 soccer fields, 16 rugby fields, and 587 ping pong tables long.
Now, the engineer
Someday, you're going to thank me that you know that.
The engineer that operates that train can see as about as well as you guys. They can see down the track on a clear day, quarter of a mile. They see you walking on the tracks. They see you sitting in your car, sitting on the tracks. Do they know if your car quit, run out of gas? Do they know that? No. Do they know if you're playing chicken? Do they know if something wrong with you? They put that train in full emergency braking. You know what they know for sure? You don't move that car, get out of that car, get off those tracks, they're going to hit you, possibly kill you. That train is going to go another mile before it stops.
Slow down.
Oh, by the way, this chart, I don't really like this chart because this chart was done under perfect conditions. You know, weather perfect, roads perfect. Vehicles had good brakes, good tires. The drivers had 2 jobs. All they had to do was get those vehicles up to 55 miles an hour, slam on the brakes, stop. You will never have a perfect condition once you start driving. Never. Isn't this the Midwest right here? Yes. Don't we have all kind of weather changes right here? Yes. Now, a car doing 55 miles an hour under perfect condition will stop 200 feet. Bus 230. Semi, 300. My train, 5,280 feet. And as Tom told you, that's a mile.
It's a long way.
Today, you guys will know how it feels to be an engineer. You get a chance to take the Pepsi challenge. Yeah, take a soft drink can. Take any beverage, any flavor, your favorite. Make sure it's in a can. Put it under your parents' car. Put it under your friend's car. Watch them run over. Now, that's a 12-ounce pop can, 3,000-pound car. Ratio, about 4,000 to 1. You won't hear it. Why? You got the air conditioning going, heater, defrost. What else you got going? Sounds going. Also, now wait a minute. Some of y'all guys got them cell phones, right? Yeah, y'all texting, right? Do not text and drive. Okay. Also, some of y'all got those headphones, huh? Yeah. Y'all be listening to your own music, right? And plus, in the car, you got the conversation going, right? You're not paying attention to what you're doing. You need to pay attention. Now, 12-ounce pop can, 3,000-pound car, 4,000 to 1. You become that pop can. When you get in that car and decide to do what? You want to go up against that, a 12 million pound train. That train hits your car, doesn't know it, doesn't feel it. I'll make it easy for you. I'll turn that train of 12 million pounds into 4,000 elephants. You guys ever see this movie with Robert Jumanji? You ever see that? Yeah. What if 4,000 elephants walk across the car and do you think you'll survive? No. Now, there are two types of crossing. One is called a passive crossing. Tom, tell them about that.
Okay, passive crossings being just that, they're passive. There's no lights, there's no bells, there's no gates. There's nothing to indicate to you that you're coming up to a train crossing. Well, we got to get your attention somehow. So on the pavement, on the blacktop, we're going to paint the white RXR sign. Now, as Larry said, we live in the Midwest. What's out on the ground right now when you look out the window, okay? Are you going to see that sign, that white RXR sign on the blacktop under 8 inches of snow and ice? No, so we got to do something else. So pretty close to that sign, we're going to put up what the Secretary of State refers to as the Advanced Warning Device. It's round, it's yellow, and we call it what it is. It's a railroad crossing sign, not railroad. Okay, railroad, all right. In the city of Chicago, those are about 50 feet back from the tracks out here in the country. Believe it or not, you guys live in the country in Tinley Park. They're about 150 feet back from the crossing to warn you in advance. You're coming up to a railroad crossing, you need to do what? Slow down at least, okay? Look and listen for that train. In other words, we want you to yield, okay? Put the next one.
The other device is an active device. Now, when your parents used to take you across the street and you learn how to cross the street, red light means what? Stop. So when you come up to a red light, it means to what? Stop. Red lights mean to stop. If the gate is down, what do you do? Stop. What if that gate goes up? Can you go? What about now? Now that gate goes up, stays up for 3 to 5 seconds. Then it does this. Most important sign is this one right here. What does that say? How many? 2. So if it's 2 tracks, how many trains are you looking for? 2. Now, active devices have bells, gates, lights. All of that information tells you to do what? Is that hard? Tom?
Every railroad crossing in the United States has an address. Just like you have a number on your house or your condo, your apartment, wherever you live. Every one of the railroad crossings in the U.S. has a number on it. It's called a DOT number, Department of Transportation number. 6 numbers and an alphabetical letter, okay? So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A. Now, why is that number important to you? Well, let's say you're driving down the street one day. You get a flat tire. Maybe you're involved in an accident. You're by the railroad tracks. You want to let somebody know where you're at, okay? If you dial up 911 and the dispatcher says, well, where are you at? I'm in the Tinley Park. That doesn't help us, okay? We need to know a little bit more information than that, okay? But if you can look either on the fence out there by the tracks, on the little silver signal bungalow out there by the tracks, on the signal mast or signal post, you're going to see one of these signs. And on that sign is going to be a lot of information that you can use. It'll have the street name that you're on. It'll have the milepost number that you're at. That's how far you are from downtown Chicago. The DOT number, Department of Transportation number, the 6 numbers in the letter. And there'll be an 800 number for you to call the railroad. So your first call is to 911. You talk to the dispatchers here in Tinley Park. And then your second phone call should be that 800 number. That's the railroad dispatcher. Make sure you tell them exactly where you're at. Read them that information that's on that sign, because then they can call the engineers who are driving the trains and get them to stop before they get to where you are at.
Now, number one way that people get killed is called an S maneuver. That's the maneuver that you have to do to get around these gates. When the gates are down and the lights are flashing and no train, what do? Do you go around the gates? No. No, you do not. When the gates are down, what are you supposed to do? Stop. When the red lights are flashing, what are you supposed to do? Stop. It's not hard. This is the number two way people get killed. It's called a ghost train. Why? First train is hiding the second train from Mr. and Mrs. Impatient. They can't wait to go. All they see is one train. Remember I told you? Most important sign is this one right here. What does that say? So if it's 2 tracks, how many trains are you looking for? 2. What if it says 3? How many trains? 3. How many tracks? 3. It's not hard. Most people don't know that. All they do is they wait for the first train to go and then they shoot across. It takes you 8 to 10 seconds to get across those tracks. Do not get too close to the train. The train overhangs the track by 3 feet. Now, if they're carrying equipment such as for ComEd or for the military, they can overhang the tracks by 6 feet. Do not get too close to the tracks. Does that make sense? Tom? Over.
Oh, you give me all the hard ones, huh? All right, there's a phenomenon at nighttime called overdriving your headlights, which means that your headlights only shine out about 200 feet in front of your car. So if you're speeding, you can't actually see where you're going. Now, any of you guys been practicing at nighttime, driving at night yet? Okay, what's the big deal about driving at night? It's dark. Thank you, exactly. Thank you, Mark. It's dark, you can't see where you're going. Your landmarks that you normally pick out during the daytime because the sun is shining, they aren't out there. You can't see them, okay? Well, what happens at nighttime is you're overdriving your lights, you're speeding, you can't see what's out there in front of you, and all of a sudden your brain picks up, your eyes pick up, there's an object out there in the middle of the street. Maybe it's a dog, maybe it's an animal, maybe it's a guy that's jogging, maybe it's a kid on a bike. When your brain tells your foot to step on the brakes, by the time your brain sends that signal down to the foot to get to the brake, your vehicle is already past that object. And that's why every year, out of 100 accidents involving trains, 52 of them are people that drive into the side of the train. Now, last time we checked, train cars were 21 feet tall, 72 feet long. Most freight trains are about 2 miles in length. How do you miss that? If you survive the crash and we come to talk to you, we're like, did you see the train? I don't remember. It was dark. Okay? Over driving your headlights. So when you're out driving at night, you have to slow down. There's a white line painted on that pavement about 10 feet back from the tracks. That's where we want you to stand if you're on foot. That's where we want you to slow down and stop your car if you're in your car. Okay?
Do not pass, stop, or shift gears. Now, you see this black surface right here? It's nice and smooth. It's also very slippery. A little bit of moisture, slippery. Rain, snow, ice, very slippery. Now, you go to speeding across here and you slip, you end up on the tracks. It takes a tow truck to get your car out. You don't pass going over the tracks. Now you're in somebody else's lane and you're speeding. And you never, ever stop your car on the tracks. What did I just say? 2 vehicles must stop at railroad crossing. One's a tanker truck. What's the other one? School bus. You guys ever ride a school bus, field trip, sporting events? You have one job as a bus pass. Know what that job is? Be quiet. Your lives are in whose hands? When they open the window and open the door, what are they looking for? What are they listening for? You need to help them out as much as possible. Now, it's the most important chart we show. Why? If your car quits on the railroad tracks, what do? Everybody, hold up their index finger. Hold it up. The train is going that way. You are in your car, sitting in your seat. The train is going to hit your car, so you're going to get out your car, you're going to run. Are you going to run that way, that way, or that way? Now wait, I'm going to give you a hint, because y'all look, this Tinley Park, y'all look like y'all need all the help y'all can get. Now, do not go that way. And wait a minute, wait, do not go this way. Okay, now the train is going this way. Which way do you run? Point. Now, if you're going that way, you will die. If you're going that way, you will die. If you're going why? Train hits that car, and if you're running that way, turn around. Look, what's on the front of the engine? Your car. On impact, parts go this way, parts go this way. So you get out of the car, get away from the tracks, you run toward the train on an angle. Got it?
Not at the train.
And I didn't say down the tracks. Our motto is, if you always what? For a train, and you always, you will. Thank you guys very much.
No problem.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Tom. Now we're going to hear a firsthand account of someone whose life was dramatically changed when he was hit by a train and thankfully survived. As a result, he suffered a traumatic injury where he lost both of his legs. Since his accident in October 2012, Mark Kalina Jr. has traveled throughout the United States promoting railroad safety. He's committed to helping victims of traumatic injury through his foundation, the Mark Kalina Jr. Foundation. Please welcome me in joining my friend Mark Kalina.
Hi, thank you, Hillary. My name is Mark Kalina Jr., and I not only am a authorized volunteer for Operation Lifesaver, but as you can see, I'm also a train accident survivor. This morning, me and my sister were walking into your high school, and I was thinking back to my own driver's ed program, and I can honestly tell you, if I had Larry and Tom's presentation, I wouldn't be here today giving you a talk about railroad safety. October 12th, 2012, I was walking back to my apartment at The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio, and I came across some tracks, and there was a train stopped on those tracks. And my apartment was on the other side, and instead of backtracking and going under a rail bridge, I decided to save some time and just use those railroad tracks as a shortcut. The tracks were on they were raised up, and there was like an incline with gravel. I walked up that, was walking along this train. This train was stopped for some reason, wasn't moving. So I thought, heck, I can stay pretty safe around this, and I don't see anyone, so I can get out of here quick enough that I won't get in trouble. While walking along the train, I lost my footing, reached out with my right arm, my sleeve got snagged on something on the rail car, and my legs just fell down. I was being held up by my sleeve, and right then the train started kicking in motion. It started creaking and locking into place, and I started panicking. I was kicking out gravel, trying to stand up, and the train was pulling me into my sleeve, making it even harder to get off. So panicked and wasn't able to get my sleeve unhooked right away. The train started going faster and faster, making it even harder to get unhooked. At one point, I climbed onto the rail car that I was hooked to because I was going to be dragged by the train because it was going so fast. I climbed up the ladder that was there, unhooked my sleeve, but right then we were going around a turn. I got jostled. I fell off the rail car and fell into the connection knuckle, kind of like holding it on the side. And I didn't have a real good grip. I lifted up my left foot to brace on the car in front of me, get a better hold of things. That's when my left foot went under the wheel, and it pulled me under the train. It tossed me around for a little bit. I ended up on my stomach in between the two tracks with the train going overhead at 30 or so miles an hour. I pushed off with my right hand so I'd be in the middle of the tracks, and I just laid there with my hands over my head. It felt like an hour for the train to pass by, but once it did, I rolled over. I couldn't really move. I was just laying there with my head on the one rail, trying to look up. I looked down and saw my left leg was already gone. I did not know my right leg was. I looked at my hand because I hurt as well, and I ended up losing a pinky. I ended up calling 911. They came and got me about 10 minutes after I made the first call, and I went through a bunch of rehab, and then here I am. I wanted to save 5 minutes by using the railroad tracks as a shortcut, and I can tell you it's not worth it, because now, I save 5 minutes doing that, but now every morning I have to take 10 minutes to put my legs on. So, if you're in a car and get impatient at railroad crossings with flashing lights or gates, it's not worth it to go around. Maybe you do it once, twice, or 1,000 times. It's just that one time that you're going to regret making that bad decision. And so hopefully you hear my story and you learn from my mistake that it's illegal for a reason. I did not know it was illegal to be on train tracks. I heard some of you when Larry asked if you knew, and you're like, well, you told us now, so now we know. And that's the most important thing, is that it is illegal, and it's illegal for the reason that you can easily get hurt. So remember, when you see tracks, think train, and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, for that story. I think everybody can see the importance of train safety. We hope this has been helpful for you today. Has this been helpful for you? Can I see a hands that, has this been helpful? Has this been helpful for you today? Are you going to go home and you're going to share this information with your brothers, your sisters, your nieces, your nephews, and everybody else, so you can be equipped with the tools that you need to have to make sure that you can be safe around railroads? That's the most important thing. Safety is no accident. Safety is a choice. You have to choose to be safe. Don't take a shortcut. Trains are unforgiving. They're very, very unforgiving. One more thing I would like to address today is we have a safety and essay contest at Metra. We do it every year. We want you to check it out. It's at our www.metracontest.com. That's www.metracontest.com. We have some exciting prizes. The number one prize is an iPad. Who wouldn't like to get a brand new iPad? I guess you wouldn't want iPads, huh? Oh, okay. I see over there. Okay, thank you. You have to enroll by January 30th in order to get involved in it. Before I close, I want to thank Principal Teresa Nolan and the students here at Tinley Park High School for allowing us to be here today. I also want to thank Secretary of State Jesse White. That's very, very important. You can see how much he's encouraged by this and how much safety means to him on the roads and the highways. Also, Mark Kalina, thank you very much for coming. I think your testimony is very important, and I think you hit it on the head. If you had the tools and you had the knowledge that this group has here today, you probably wouldn't have had that terrible accident that you had. I want to thank Hillary Conskell and his whole safety team, Larry and Tom, and you can see if there's only one thing I need to talk to Larry is he needs to be a little bit more energetic. He needs to be a little bit more engaging. This group has gone out and delivered these messages time and time again, and it's very, very important, so it's important to everybody. One of the things also that I would like to leave everybody with from the bottom of my heart: look, listen, and live. Thank you for being out here today. Thank you for allowing us to come in and share this time. Thank you very much.